Howdy y'all, Fast Force 289, welcome back. In this video, we're going to be working on my 1968 Ford Fairlane 500 Fastback. And we're going to be upgrading these nasty tail light lenses and bezels here, get rid of all this and upgrade it to some nice new ones to really help make it pop to go along with this new rear bumper that I recently installed. So let's jump into it and see what we got. Okay, so this is the parts we're going to be dealing with here. I got the gaskets and the bezels from AMD Auto Metal Direct, and I bought the lenses from Dennis Carpenter. This is a good unit. The studs here may be too short. I don't know yet. I went ahead and assembled this one, but we'll figure that out as we go, as we get deeper into it. This is the other bezel here, obviously. The seals seem like a pretty good product. They seem good quality. You know, I think they'll do the job real well. And for the taillight lenses, this is pretty cool. Dennis Carpenter sent me a calendar. I didn't ask for it. I'm not sponsored by them. So I thought that was really cool that they sent this to me, and I'll stretch this out and show you what it looks like here in just a minute. Here are the new taillight lenses. And what I like about Dennis Carpenter is they are an exact replica of the originals. So it says top where it's supposed to. It's got the original part numbers, the FOMOCO symbol there. Flip it on the back, it's got the C8 part number there, just like the originals do. So that's why I like Dennis Carpenter. They make really good high-end products, and it looks really, really good. All right, so now I'm gonna show you the calendar they sent me. This thing is so cool. It was a big surprise when I opened the box and saw this. Like I said, I didn't ask for it. So that was real nice of them to send this to me. I like that red 77 Ford truck there. That's a pretty truck. And that looks like to be about a 68 or 9 because it's got reflectors back here. So that's definitely 68 or 9. That's a pretty truck too. It's a nice calendar. Big calendar too. I thought it was, well, it is a poster. When I first saw it, I thought it was just a poster. But it's a calendar and a poster. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to find somewhere to put it on the wall here. I don't know where exactly yet, but maybe y'all give me some ideas. But probably put it next to the toolbox up here, but I thought that was cool there. All right, so now if I go in the car, see, we have these studs sticking out here. We got to remove all 4 of these studs and unhook our light. And then once we pull them studs there out, the bezel here will slide right out. And then the housing on the back can come straight off. And then this wire here is your reverse light. You can simply just take it and unplug it like that, and now it'll separate. So we'll pull our bezel out first. Whoops. All right. And then that'll come right out. So, like I said, you just pull your bezel straight out. After you get all the nuts off the other side, just slide straight out just like that. And then you can remove the housing. Piece of cake. We gotta remove these 4 screws that holds the lens in place, and then this gasket will come off, and we can clean our shell here up and get it ready to go back in. And really, this thing's painted. I probably need to actually take this off and paint this like a silver or something, or even a black, you know. I may do it later. I don't know if I want to do it right now, just because I don't really know if I'd want to go black with it like this, make it look like that, or if I want to do more of the traditional, how it's supposed to look, silver. So I don't know. I'll think about that. All right, so these are just 4 Phillips head screws. And these are a specialty screw that they use. You see how it's got like it's got the thread on the tip, and then almost like a drill bit I'm not exactly sure why that's like that, except maybe for when in the factory they were doing this to puncture the rubber, because if you look here, this one here don't even have the holes all the way through, so it might have been to kind of drill that rubber out, I don't know. Or act as a stop so you don't ever tighten and crack the plastic. So either way, it's a specialty screw. Happy to be changing these. This one here is cracked. This lens here, as you can see right there, is broke. These lenses have definitely seen better days, that's for sure. All right, then this right here should just come right on off like that. Beautiful. Nice. Yeah, it's done for. Old plastic, just, it's not gonna hold up against time. And then the old seal can come out. There we go. And if you gotta change your reverse light, now's your best time to do it. I probably will upgrade these to LED in the future, but I don't have any right now, so I can do that on a future video. But yeah, there's the old gasket. Big difference from the new one. So now we can get this cleaned up and get ready to reassemble. Okay, so what I decided to do is I'm gonna paint these. I'm gonna paint the inside white. Now you may ask, why would you paint the inside white? Well, it's because back in the day, you know, it was probably fine, but these lights are, I put LEDs in here so they are brighter, but with a white background, they will reflect the light a lot better. In the 70s, Ford went from this standard to steel here, and they went to a metal case with white paint on the inside, and that was to help reflect the light better. And then I think in the mid 70s, they went to plastic housings that were white to help reflect the lighting. If you go hit the brake on my 76 Ford truck that has regular bulbs, your regular incandescent bulbs, but they are brighter than this car is, or at least was. It might be about the same now since this one got LEDs, but with that white, it really helps reflect it. So I'm gonna paint this white, and with the LEDs combined, it'll help really reflect that light. And it ain't gotta be reflective white. It can be just plain white. I'm using, that's what I'm using. I'm using matte white. It'll be fine, just a nice white to help reflect. And then for the outside, I'm gonna paint it black. Just because the trunk of the car is black, I'm gonna keep it black because I like that black background. No, it's not original, but like I've stated before in the past, with this car, I don't care about originality. I just do what I like. So it doesn't matter. It's, you know, once the car is painted, I'm gonna paint the car blue eventually. The trunk's supposed to be blue, I said, from the factory, if you're doing original kind of stuff. But since I'm gonna leave it black anyway, I may as well paint these black. I don't want these a silver because then it'll be the only thing in the trunk silver, and I don't think it'll look right. With the black, it'll kind of blend in and it'll look good. So I'm gonna clean them up, and I'm painting because of this. You see where the car was painted before in the past. They didn't remove these to paint the car, and it just looks like crap. So granted, this was on the inside of the fender, so you won't see it when you open the trunk, but still, I don't like that kind of stuff. I removed the light piece here, and this is easy to remove. It's kind of like the rear or the brake light here where it just snaps in. You pull it out, except it clips in to here. So what I did is, you got to remove it from the back, is I just easily pushed this tab over and kind of put some tension on the back there, and then took the end of my screwdriver and just kind of tapped it until it popped out the hole. And then for this rubber grommet, because it's kind of hard to get out of this hole here, I had to take my heat gun and heat it up so it would be pliable and soft. And I'm probably gonna have to heat it up to put it back as well, but that's how you get it out without tearing the grommet. So I'm gonna get this taped up and ready to go and get it painted so it could be ready to be reassembled and put back in the car. I'm gonna show you how to get these out here without breaking your grommet. So remove the bulb, of course. Then you have these little tangs here. You have to be very careful. I had to put a little bit of pressure on it from the back. And just easily push them. And just like that. If that don't work for you, can give them a nice little tap. I use the end of my screwdriver and just tap them, and then it'll pop right out. Now when it comes to this grommet here, you gotta be careful not to tear it. So more than likely, they're probably too hard to push in. So I'll grab me a heat gun, heat the grommet up a little bit. It makes it soft and easier to push. And if you have to, take a little screwdriver or something. Push the edges in. Just like so. And then when it's time to put it back in, you can heat this up and pull it back through. It'll be just like new. Now we can go through and sand this down and get it ready to paint. We're going to go ahead and assemble our other bezel. So we're going to take our studs out, and I don't know why they don't give you new nuts with the studs, but hey, whatever. They give you the new studs at least. And they just screw in. The shank part here goes facing out. The flat end goes into the bezel. And we'll take our old bezel, we can line them up and kind of get the studs close to how long they need to be. That looks pretty good. Okay, so when it comes to these bezels here, there is a top and a bottom. When you look at it, you see you have these tabs here on the side, none up here, and then some here. Well, this is the bottom, this is the top. Now this one doesn't say it. The factory one has top stamped in it right there. So you know which is the top and the bottom. Just like this one here, you see this is the original one, and it's got one broke off there, and that one's barely hanging on, but you see the writing down here, the part number, and then top written right there. So we know that this is the top, so the one with the tab to go at the bottom. Simple as that, and then of course those are in the middle. Why they don't stamp it on here, I don't know. I guess save money, they don't have to pay for dyes, and they expect you to match it up to your old one. Now, does it matter which way you put it in? Probably not. It would probably go either way, but that is the proper way. These go at the bottom, just so you know. All right, now we got our other tail lens here. We can crack this open. And again, these do have a top and a bottom. Now this is from Dennis Carpenter, and Dennis Carpenter has the exact Ford dies, so they are spot on. If you didn't know any better, other than the fact that they look new, you would think these are original. You can see right there, it says top. It's got the original part numbers, the Famoco symbol, and all that. And this one has the part number written in here as well. But, and right there. As you can see, as a comparison, they are exactly identical. All right, so have a nice new lens, and even though they're new, I like to go in and wipe mine out before I put them on the car. Have our new gasket. When it comes to the gasket here, this doesn't really seem to be directional. It does have this thing here, whereas on the other side it does not. Obviously these go on the side just like the original. But from what I found, it seems like it's better for this to go at the bottom. I'm not sure why, but that's the way I found it fits better. Now they did give you little embosses here inside the rubber for your screws to go through, but they're not punched all the way through. But you can take your screw and jam through. That's what these screws are made for. As a matter of fact, you could probably do it now if you wanted to. Just go ahead and just jam through there to make your hole. Give it a little twist to open that hole up. Okay, so once you got the holes pre-punched, like I said, I found this right here works better at the bottom. So we'll line it up with the bottom of our lens, and the lens just sits in here. And even though this gasket seems kind of distorted from packaging and shipping, it once you get it to fit in there, it's a snug fit, but once it fits in there, it's fine. You can see the shape. You can see it come to shape. And what I like to do is line up my holes with the lens in the gasket. So then it fits like it's supposed to when you install it into the car, into the housing, and then into the car. Like I just looked at the hole and you can see the indentation in that rubber. All right, so we got our housing painted up here. Nice pretty black on the outside, satin black, or semi-gloss, all I had. And then this nice white on the inside, and like I said, this will make these lights quite a bit brighter. You know, you can use just regular incandescent bulbs and they'll be brighter, but I have LEDs, so they should be quite a bit brighter. I didn't think about it. I should have took a before and after with the brightness, but I didn't think about it, but that's fine. They will be brighter. So now we want to reinstall our terminal piece here. We got to get it fed back through that hole in the side. Just like so. Now you're gonna have to work on it to get it to go through there, because it's gonna be a tight fit. You have to work this rubber back and forth. You may have to come through the back side and push on it. And if you have to, take your heat gun and heat it up. That'll make it go in a lot easier too. It'll soften that rubber up. But I got the other one in without the heat gun, so I should be able to get this one in as well. And you'll feel it. It snaps in. There you go. Now it's all the way through. And then when it comes to this, you just want to line up your tab. So if you look at this, you can see how you have these tabs around here, but there's a blank spot here. But that blank spot lines up with that tab in the middle. So it's real simple. Just like so. Then we can put our bulb in there. And I'm gonna get a new bulb to replace it just to freshen it up. I'm gonna order some LEDs eventually, but I'm gonna put this one still works. I'm gonna put a new one in there just so it's all fresh and it's all new. Okay, in case you're wondering, these bulbs for the reverse lights are an 1156. Your tail light lens bulb, your tail light brake light bulb is 1157. There we go. We're supposed to pop out like that. That's all right. The only reason that kind of startled me is I've seen them bulbs break, and yeah, that wouldn't have been fun, let me tell you. All right, so we got that good to go. Now we can put our lens and gasket and all that on here and get ready to put it in the car. So when it comes to these housings also have a top. Every one of these components have a top and a bottom. They all say top and bottom, except for, like I said, your new bezels, but I showed you how to tell which is top and bottom on that. These say top. If you look right there, it says top. It's kind of hard to see since I painted it white, but it's there. It says top. So it's the top, so you want to line the top of your bezel up to the top of this, obviously. Unfortunately, I'm missing one of these screws, and like I said before, these are a specialty screw. So, and to the best of my knowledge, they do not reproduce them. So if y'all know of a place I can get these special screws, let me know. Go ahead and set it down in here and line everything up. I don't want to tighten them down until I get them all started. So for the time being, I'm just going to use this regular, just old interior trim screw that I found in my parts bin. Alrighty. Now we can go through and tighten these up. And you don't want to overkill it because this is plastic. So you don't want to over tighten it. You just want to snug it up till it stops. Well, snug it, you know, because your definition of stop and mine might be different. You just want to snug. You don't want to over tighten it. Okay, and now that one is ready to go in the car. And you want to get your bezel up there because it's going to be kind of like a guide. And once you got it started, you can get a couple bolts and put in it. Now, unfortunately, I'm missing a bolt over here. It's one of those things I got to kind of get stuff I weren't thinking when I took this apart. I'm going to have to go through and buy some new nuts eventually, but for now, at least it will get it in place. Now, when I took this out, I used my ratchet wrench, but when I put it together, only use a hand wrench because you don't want to ever tighten this. You can strip these threads out really easy or break the bezel because they're just pop metal, and you don't want to do that. So hand tighten them only, and you only want them snug. Don't kill it, but you're wanting to compress this gasket. On the old ones, they had already been compressed, so you know, and taking it off, it don't matter anyway. But on here, we got to be careful tightening it back down. I probably should have put a little bit of WD-40 or something on this gasket for the first time set, so then it could kind of move and settle, but it'll be okay. And I'm actually going to take one of the bolts for the other side and put over here to get it all seated down, and then I can take it back out to use on the other side. Because you really need 4 to set it so that it seats evenly. After it's seated, then you can, you know, do whatever you got to do. So I'm going to go ahead and snug these down, and then we'll come back after I get it seated. And remember, like I said, go kind of back and forth. That way it goes evenly. Okay, good to go. Yeah, and like I said, you want to keep going back and forth. This, you can see how this gasket is compressed out now. There was a line here from the paint mark previously, and now it's gone because this gasket has been pushed and like spread it out. And that's what you want. These will get tight, like, you know, like I said, you don't want to crank on them. I just grab them and I just kind of do my fingers, and when it feels snug, that's good to go. That's all you need. See, you don't need to kill it. So we got that all good to go now. And you want to do that, like I said, until it goes around. And you could come out in a couple of days and check it, because as you tighten these down, that's why I say go back and forth, because as you tighten them down, like you'll tighten one, as you start snugging them, then the next one will be loose because it's settling and getting lower. In a couple of days, as the gasket settles more, you might come out here and give it another couple of turns. So, but now we can hook our wires up. When you got one that's loose like that, you may need to come in here and bend these tabs out just a touch. Just to give it some more tension. Just like that. Now it's a good snug fit, and it probably wouldn't hurt to install it and take it off a couple of times, because I need a good ground for the lights to work. So that's good to go now. And yeah, I need to clean this up, but the good thing is about this is I can unplug this and take it off. So in the future, if I want to clean this up, so that's not a big deal. So we're good to go there. And now we can install the other side. Alrighty guys, we are done. I gotta say, that looks absolutely great. I am so pleased with how that turned out. You can just see the shine on that, the reflection. Them lenses are so clear now. They're not all cracked up, and you can see painting that white, that really gives that reverse light a nice white look to it now. And both sides are just absolutely beautiful. So let's go, let's test them and see how they look when they're lit up. Here we are with just the regular tail lights. And now we have the brake lights. And here we are with the reverse lights. And you see they are nice and bright now. They look really good. Nice and crisp and clean and just bright and clear. I really love it. That turned out great. Alrighty guys, well, that's it. We are done. That thing turns out so great. I love the way they look. They are so nice and bright and shiny now, and they look great. And I don't know about y'all, but I gotta say, like, there has been some great tail lights in the history, in automotive history, right? Of different cars, all kinds, Ford, Chevy, Dodge, I don't care. There's been some amazing features and details on cars, including the tail lights. But these was some of my favorite. I love the 68, 69 Fairlane Torino Fastback tail lights. Now the coupes, me, I ain't a big fan of the coupes version, but the Fastback version, there is a difference. And they changed them on the coupes for 68 and 9. They were both different, but the Fastbacks were the same for both years. But I love these taillights. There's always been some of my favorite things right here. Love it. I love this tail panel trim. And in case y'all don't know, I'm sure y'all do if you've been watching me for a while, but this is actually 69 tail panel trim. There's a lot of things on this car from 69. Yeah, I guess you could say I'm making a 69 clone almost, but it's just because I don't care about originality. I'm just taking what I like for both years and combining it into one car and making my ultimate dream car, right? So, yeah. But anyway, I love the way this turns out. This is great. And like I said, they are bright. And like I said, painting them white on the inside does help. It helps reflect that light out more. They came galvanized like a silvery from the factory, which again, it works. You know, it worked for the day and for the time, and it worked fine. And it would brighten up. But when these were incandescent bulbs, they were so dim you couldn't even tell you hit the brake during the day. Putting these LED lights in that I got from West Coast Classic Cougar some time back, if you go back and watch it's one of my early videos, I showed installing these from West Coast Classic Cougar. They're 1157 plasma LEDs, what they call it. And wow, day and night difference. Just putting them in there made a big difference. And now that we have that painted white and a nice new clean, clear lens that the light can actually shine through, that isn't all faded, cracked, oversprayed with paint and all that other kind of crap. Now they really protrude a nice taillight lens, and this is a nice safety feature, but as well as a cosmetic feature upgrade. Anyway, if y'all like the video, give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. I'd greatly appreciate that too. We keep growing. I think it's awesome and fantastic, and I thank each and every one of y'all each and every day for that. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them in the drop box down below, and I'll get back to you as always. And so that's it for this video. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I will see y'all on the next one. Take care.